Hey everyone, Dr. Erik here from MedBetter Health. A question I get asked so often is, Dr. Erik, what is the difference between normal aging and my memory getting a little slower and me forgetting things versus actual neurocognitive decline such as dementia? You ready? We'll tell you about it in this video. Now, before that, if you're a caregiver and you want to find out about an incredible new program from Medicare that's a free program for you with so many resources, stick around until the end of the video. You ready? Let's go. So, what we're going to talk to you about today is not something that Dr. Erik is talking about. It's something that specifically comes from diagnostic guidelines, longitudinal aging studies, and really clinical neurology. Now, I want you guys to take a look at this slide. It's a very important slide. On this side, we have normal aging. On this side, we actually have a major neurocognitive disorder such as dementia. What is the key differentiator? Well, you see this line, right? This is the line right over here. So when you talk about normal aging, in normal aging, you have slowed processing. Okay, so I'm kind of processing things a little slower, but I still have functional independence. And we'll talk a little bit about that in the next slide, but functional independence like managing my financing, managing my medications. I still have complete control over that, right? Independently, and it's intact. When you start to cross the line, the diagnosis crosses from normal aging to major neurocognitive disorder when cognitive changes interfere with everyday independence, right? So take a look over here. Loss of everyday independence versus over here, slowing, but you still have your ability of doing things independently. There's something called memory mechanics, right? Let's look at the memory mechanics. This is, remember, normal aging. This is dementia world. So when you have normal aging, there's something called benign age-related retrieval slowing. So you have the information, right? You see these little things are nuggets of information, but it just takes you a little longer to retrieve a word or name. You're going to recall it. You're going to be able to remember it. It's just going to take you a little longer. Now look at this slide over here. Look at the safety box. What should be in this safety box is information. But do you see anything there? No, it's empty. There's nothing there. So the failure lies in encoding. The memory was never successfully stored in the first place. So I'm sitting here and I met our marketing team member Ron, and I met him. Hi, how are you? But that information never stored over here. It's not in there. So when I see Ron tomorrow, I'm like, hey Ron, what's going on? I'm not going to say that. Why? Because it never stored that you're Ron and you're leading our marketing team, right? So that is what one of the differentiators is for the memory mechanics. Now, what about processing speed and accuracy? So normal aging on this side, right? And neurocognitive disease such as dementia on this side. Okay, processing speed. So in normal aging, as we mentioned before, the processing speed is slower, right? So it takes me a longer time, but my accuracy remains. I know that this is a water bottle. I know it. So it may take Erik, what is this? Dr. Erik, it looks like a water bottle to me. Okay, I got it. Took me a longer time. Dementia world, right? Dr. Erik, what is this? 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute. That looks like a remote control from a TV. So my accuracy is completely off. All right, moving on. Language network integrity. Something called weakened phonological connections. Now, this is the semantic hub. This is where all of the information is stored. And this is the phonological output. That's where you gotta put it out to the world, right? You're putting it out. Now, as you see, there is an increase in mild word finding pauses, for example. This is an access issue. It's not a degradation of the meeting. you have a little bit of harder time getting to the access, but you still get the information across. Whereas in the dementia world, take a look. Look at all these gaps over here, right? These connections have been destroyed. So even if you remembered that this was a water bottle, that's why the connection is now destroyed. You're unable to put that out into the world, right? So produces something like calling a watch a time thing, because you remember it's close to something with time, but you can't say the watch, because what happens? That word watch has been broken. It doesn't go out to the world. And executive function and sequences, right? On top, you have the normal aging world, and on the bottom, you actually have the dementia world. So let's take a look. You see, again, the time takes longer. Complex task switching involves mild slowing, but the sequence multi-step task is eventually completed independently. That's a normal aging. But when you get to dementia, look what it says over here, and this is important. Complete inability to sequence. So you can't sequence many different things. That's why people who have dementia, you can't say, honey, first we're going to go shopping, then we're going to go to the restaurant, then I want you to go to the spa. Then it's too much to process. They're unable to sequence all these things. And so managing medications, which involve sequencing, right? I have to take a Atenolol 2 times a day. I have to take my metformin 3 times a day. And it's too much sequencing. I'm unable to do it. And I'm unable to do it what? Independently anymore. And we could see how it's difficult if someone doesn't know how to do that anymore, right? And that's why I want you to stick around until the end of the video to learn about this new incredible Medicare program that helps you, the caregiver, because a lot of this falls on the caregiver there. And there's an incredible program called the GUIDE Model, which you got to know about. It's completely free. It adds a world of assistance to you guys who are caregivers out there. So, inability to sequence, medications, finances, multi-step tasks, and look at this. This is important, all right? This is never normal at any age, and that crosses the threshold of independence. The second you notice someone who you love have that inability, and now they're losing their independence because of that normal aging or memory, no, that now crosses the line. Okay, what about orientation map? You know, you're going shopping, you're going somewhere, and you get lost maybe. So there's 2 different points. Number 1, you have unfamiliar environments and familiar environments. In normal aging, you can have mild confusion is restricted to sometimes being in an unfamiliar environment, typically triggered by physiological stress or acute illness, right? That's okay. But when it comes to dementia, there is consistent disorientation to time, you know what time it is, to the date, or to the place. Now, a lot of you watching, you guys are not getting enough sleep, you're overworked, and you're like, I don't know what time it is. I don't know what date it is. And you're thinking, oh my God, Dr. Erik, do I have dementia, right? No, because there's a whole different way of diagnosing it. This is just one of the components. But it is a red flag when someone you love, your mom, dad, your grandmother, they are having this disorientation to time, date, or place. That's something that you've got to think about and speak to your neurologist. Now, we're also going to show you this amazing slide over here that summarizes everything. It summarizes everything that we've talked about just so you can have an understanding. So I hope that you found this video helpful. And if you're caring for someone with dementia, I know how actually overwhelming it can be. There's a new free dementia care program through Medicare that a lot of people actually don't even know about. And it can support you, including up to $2,500 for something called respite care, for things like having a private duty home care in your house, helping taking care of your loved one. Or imagine having a 24/7 support helpline. Now, if you want to see if you qualify, go to the website that you see on your screen or scan the QR code that you see. Talk to you soon.